Here's what I want to say about Pro Football Focus. Shut up already. Do your numbers, okay? Do your numbers. Tell us what your PFF score for the backup offensive lineman on the Los Angeles or Las Vegas Raiders is, so we can argue about it with our friends, and shut up with everything else because you guys don't know what you're talking about. That's my thoughts on PFF. Shut your face already. Nobody cares. You're dumb. Either get your house in order and be consistent with your writing, or just stop it. So that's that. That's all I got to say. Hey, everybody. I couldn't do it. I couldn't make it. No, I just couldn't do it. I'm like, you know what? I got to talk to these guys. You want to know what the trigger was? I heard Quincy might get cut by the Steelers, dude. Could you imagine? People were talking about him being a first-round pick. Now, clearly something's wrong. He slid all the way to the back end of the draft. I think he was a sixth, maybe. Fifth or sixth. But, dude, with our situation right now, getting that guy in here, that'd be interesting. So we got Tanner Hudson. Tanner Hudson, huh? Yeah. So look, man, let's do this. Number one, hello. I wanted to just tell you, anybody coming to this one is clearly of the same mental mindset that I am. This was like I just got a feeling I want to talk to these guys, and I did it. I didn't even think. You know what I mean? I just said it. So if you guys are jumping in that quick, then you are like me. I already know you are anyway, but so look at everybody. Eric Craig, Frankie's here. What's up? Great show last night, Frankie and Jeremy. I see them both here. Yeah, man. Excellent show. They had Sack Exchange on. I stopped by. I was driving around a little bit. You want to know it's funny? No, I don't got to get it. You see Garrett Ham, J-Man Hop. What's up? Yeah. What's up with Kenny Yabo? You like that? I'm glad that happened for him because I was looking for him to make it anyway. Like I was kind of hoping the coaching staff could see the potential and override the mistakes and do it, but and just keep him anyway. But I think this makes it a lot easier. And it makes it easier to justify too. People are still throwing rocks at me about Kenny Yabo. I got into a whole thing on Jetnation about it. That he, somebody was telling me he absolutely should be cut. He's not an NFL player. I disagree. So Yoshi's here. What's up? Watu-K99. Grumman Greaser. What's up, Gary? This is Gary, everybody. Remember, he's going to take me when I go down to Florida. He's a pilot. So he's going to take me over Hard Rock Stadium, and I'll film a live stream from up. We can talk while I'm up there above the stadium. What do you think? Hey, Paul Esden is here. What's up, man? This is, I know, what's Paul? I'm serious. I was going to play a second entry. Usually I use 2 clips, and I almost played the clip with you when we were talking, but I just wanted to get it. I only played 1, but that was what I had queued up for today. I had these 2, and they were that was episode 28 of Greenbeanjetsfan, my friend. Oh, hey, Gary, though, you're not allowed to call me Kyle in here. You don't do that. Don't do that again. Don't do that. It's not who I am in here. I'm serious. So, yeah, man, everybody's here. This is great. Postman was first to stop in. Always love seeing him. It's cool, man. So, look, let's do this. We'll start with this one, and then I want to get into your thoughts. Josh Johnson is the most recent cut. Now, interestingly, Paul Esden is here. Boy Green from the Jet Zone is here, and Heavy.com. Good article today I read from you. I forget what it was. What the hell was it, Paul? I just read it today. But Paul was the one a couple weeks ago saying it wouldn't surprise him if Josh Johnson was quarterback too. And over the last couple weeks, and then culminating in the Friday night game, I thought it made perfect sense for Josh Johnson to be the second quarterback on our roster. I thought it was a good move. Thought it made sense. The two quarterbacks will slide through waivers and get him on the practice squad, I thought. But he just got cut a little while ago. So what do you guys think of that? What's up, Adler Jack? Harry, what's up, guys? Liam's here. What's up, Liam? David D, yeah, man. Vervain. Stephen Ingles here. I know. See that? You know what's funny, Steve? This was so quick and crazy. I was just like, I'm in the mood to talk to somebody. You know, I want to talk to my guys. So I just did it, and I literally wrote like 53 on roster and steak dinner, and I just did it. I don't even know what the hell I'm talking about half the time. This is the thing. If I don't watch myself, I'll say and do all sorts of stupid things. So this is the steak dinner podcast or a live stream. So that's great. Oh, that's awesome, Gary. I can't wait. I can't wait to do it. I'm looking forward to it, man. I really am. Because I'm gonna try to go to the Jets Miami down there at Hard Rock Stadium, and we can fly over it like the day before, and I could set the mood, you know. So this is great. So what do you think? What do you think about Josh Johnson? Let's start there. And I see some P. Ryan, Josh Adams talk, and that's fine. But I know what I'll do. You know what I'm going to do with you guys right now? I'm going to show you some P. Ryan loving. What do you think of that? I'm going to show you some stuff because everybody's nuts. Everybody's nuts. Okay? Hold on. I'll get it set up, guys, in a few minutes. So let's talk about Josh Johnson in particular right now. Are you guys in support of this? Did you think that he could have been a good quarterback too? Do you think it means Nick Mullins is coming along? What do you think? Do you think it's just because they want to have James Morgan and Mike White as the backup quarterbacks? What are you guys thinking here? I got to admit, I was surprised. I'm and that makes me think that there might be some Nick Mullins action going on. That's what I think. Yeah, you know, Vervain. That's funny. That's funny. I know. I love parodies. I do. Not, you know, the guy from Jetnation. He's I consider him, you know, one of the guys I like. I've talked to him offline a whole bunch. You know, I like him, but I disagree with him staunchly on that take. By the thread. The way the team played me was a reflection of the coaching staff. I agree, Garrett. So Garrett is talking about, and then I really want to look and see what you guys think of the Josh Johnson thing, and then we'll go through this, okay? But I agree, Garrett. I think that it's not that, like, look, you don't want to win at all costs in the preseason. Like, remember that, like, when Rex put in Sanchez and just stuff like that. I know it could be a little bit of fun, but the risk is there. It's very real. And we've suffered that risk more than once. We saw the Sanchez thing. We saw Avery Williamson in 2019. Chad Pennington did, you know, I think it was 2003. So, but it does go a long way when you're, especially with a new regime, they come out and they play well, right? And end up winning the game. Robert Saleh had an undefeated preseason, and I think it's positive. I do. I really do. So I agree with you. It shows. It shows. Parcells always won in the preseason too. For the Giants, he put a premium on that. Said he thought it set the tone. And I got to agree. So yeah, Jeremy Cravat is saying that he thinks maybe it's Mullins as well. Yeah, Kyle Bean. You outed me, Gary. They all know anyway. I'm just kidding. Johnson and Johnson, Josh and Ty had a decent game. They did. J-Man, I thought Josh Johnson was going to be quarterback too. I got to say it, man. I'm surprised. Is anybody else surprised? Or you're like, yeah, I saw this coming. Anybody? Let me see what you guys got. What cut? What the only cut is steak. I'm just kidding. There's many delightful cuts, but I'm a porterhouse person. I'm a porterhouse, or if I'm just kind of, I'm not going full caveman, I like to get a fillet. I don't play games with like the ribeye, the bone-in ribeyes anymore. I don't know. I like the real good stuff. I love ribeyes. Don't get me wrong, but if Wilson gets hurt, let's see with Joe Campione. What's up, buddy? If Wilson gets hurt, they might as well play the kids and see if they can be a long-term backup. No, I get that's a good point. I don't disagree. But if he gets hurt for let's say Wilson, and that still can happen if they're on the practice squad. Like the next week, you just bump them up, right? But let's say Wilson twists an ankle and just needs one game. Let's say we're 3-2. Wilson twists his ankle, needs 1 week. Wouldn't you want a guy coming in that you thought could win the game? So we could be 4-2 instead of 3-3 when Zach comes back. You see what I mean? I don't disagree with you, and I think that is part of their thinking. Let's see what else we got here. He should be quarterback too. I just saw that. What happened? Oh man, there's a lot of I don't know, something must have happened. I just got a whole bunch of chats. Right, that's it, Indy. I agree. This is how I think. And the other thing too, I think it could only bode well for Zach to have yet another guy for wisdom in the room. You know what I mean? Somebody, he knows the offense. He's been around. He can calm him down. He can help him. I think when they brought Matt Cavanaugh on, Josh Johnson's value in that respect may have whittled down a little bit. But I still think it would have been better to have, you got LaFleur, you got Matt Cavanaugh, you got Rob Calabrese and Josh Johnson, and then you got the two young guys simmering on the practice squad, just learning the system and everything. I don't know. It just felt good. It felt good. What's up, Anders? Yeah, that's what I thought, Harry. Well, the thing you have to remember with Morgan, again, and I'll always do this disclaimer because it's very touchy, very polarizing. I am not a fan of the Morgan pick. I'm not. I didn't like it then, and I don't like it now. I still think I would have loved Gabriel Davis or Antonio, Gandy Golden from Liberty. I was all over those guys, and they were sitting there. So I didn't like it. But now that he's here, you got to remember what he is. James Morgan is a developmental quarterback. His first year, there was no development. So he's essentially a rookie quarterback. Essentially, truly. He's a rookie quarterback. And he's the kind of guy, he's going to take a couple of years to become something. They knew that going in. And that's the thing. So you can't penalize him for being what he is while he's doing that, what you picked him to do. You know what I mean? So that's the thing. Fans, we want to see the spot used on something. But I think they would be wise to only keep 2 quarterbacks and then use that roster spot for another area, maybe O-line, cornerback, or defensive line. Maybe even linebacker, man. So, That's it, right, Frankie? That's what I said. I just got into a conversation a few minutes ago, and my thought was, maybe they don't like Nick Mullins because they had that opportunity. But I'm just saying, this Josh Johnson thing makes me think that something's up. That's just what I think. It just the fact that Josh Johnson is part of the first handful of cuts, right after Nick Mullins got cut, it just makes me think, okay, maybe there's something to that. No, Josh Johnson can't be on the practice squad. He's got too many years. Frankie, would you mind, or Jeremy, would you mind looking that up? What is it? Is it 4 years that they can't be on the practice squad anymore? Not a starter, but I forget how it works with the practice squad. But I think it's 4 years Once they've been in the league 4 years, they can't be stuffed on the practice squad because people would be doing that all over the place. I think he would pass waivers though, probably. I don't know, man. I think he played well, and teams see that stuff. Yeah, Stephen Engel. So Josh Johnson got cut a little while ago. Jet Press just released it. Sneakers to Boots. What's up, buddy? Skills Baby's here. Hey there. Right. He's not eligible. Yeah, the Jets press seems to be pretty good. Maybe it's not real. It could be, but Jets press doesn't they haven't struck me as an organization like a Manish Mehta just saying stuff. They haven't gotten in any trouble or anything, So Lawrence Cager. All right. So anyway, we're kind of, you know how I feel about Josh Johnson. Let me just see a few more comments on Josh Johnson, and then we'll get into Cager. Josh Johnson, not a long-term backup. JD would rather have another year with the guys there for development. Yeah, I agree. Again, I think they would probably make it to the practice squad. Maybe not. Maybe they're concerned with James Morgan making it. Maybe Bill Belichick just on spite reaches in and grabs him. But if you sign somebody off the waivers, you don't have to start them. I don't know. There's a few wrinkles here that I just, for some reason, I can't seem to organize in my head. Yeah, he's not eligible, Adler Jack. Josh Johnson. So he's been in the league too long. Again, I don't remember the specifics. Maybe somebody could look that up for us. Let's see. So what do you guys think of I'm just trying to scan you guys. No way so G-Wiz says no way they bring in Mullins. He had an awful preseason. That's the thing. But the only thing I would say to that, G-Wiz, is that LaFleur and Saleh had him last year. So if they like him just because he had a poor preseason in another system, if they like him, they like him. You know what I mean? They would believe that he can do something over here that he wasn't able to do in Philly, But I agree, he definitely did not look good. I agree, Rich Ritter. Josh Johnson did look good. I'm surprised. Love that Porterhouse. Yeah, there it is. I'm with that. Yeah, me too, Keith. I thought it was 4 years. I'm looking for Frankie or Jeremy. Practice squad, fewer than 2 accrued seasons or less than 9 accrued games. 2 seasons, huh? I thought it was. How the hell does Josh Adams been on the practice squad for 3 years? That's interesting. Joseph Schwartz. So we're going to be announcing some things. As you guys probably know by now, I am going to the home opener. I'm actually sitting with O'Leary, which is just so super exciting for me. So I'm sitting with O'Leary. I'm going to be hanging out with O'Leary and Ryan. I will be at the Jetnation tailgate, but it's not a big tailgate. It's just, a few people from Jetnation. I'm going to go there and hang out for a little while. But then I think the larger chunk of our day is going to be with Gotham City Crew. So he's actually checking how many spots he has left. It's like a full service tailgate with jock girls and music, all that kind of stuff. So, but before we really blow it up, but it's like $60, all you can eat and drink, man. So if you guys can get in on that, contact the Gotham City Crew people and see what's up with that, because that's where we're going to be for a large chunk of the day. I'm hoping to meet 1,000 of you guys. Like, I just can't wait to meet you guys. I thought it was 4 years too. I did. Moving the Chains said Yeboah is the real deal. Rich Ritter. Yeah, man. Well, Moving the Chains is without question my number one favorite football show, period. On TV, on internet, whatever. Moving the Chains. I've been listening to them for years on Sirius XM, NFL radio, and I love Pat Kerwin. And if you guys remember, he was actually on our personnel department for a few years under Dick Steinberg. And I also love Jim Miller. I think they're great. Jim Miller was the one that turned me on to Trevon Wesco early in 2000. Was it 19? I think it was early. Trevon Wesco. Jim Miller was all about him, and I dug into him, and I fell in love with him too. I didn't like that we took him because I wanted a center at the time, but I did like the player a whole bunch, and I was like, all right, well, at least it's him. But yeah, so they're saying Yeboah is the real deal. Look, Yeboah has work to do. All right, like he has work to do. I'm going to point something out that not a lot of people know. When he changed from from wide receiver to tight end via Matt Rule's advice. Matt Rule kind of brought him aside and said, look, dude, I'm going to tell you right now, you're more than likely not going to make it as a wide receiver. You got to switch to tight end. I think I see potential there. And he had to gain 35 pounds and do all kinds of different stuff. It's not easy. So he did all that. But when he was done at Temple, he was actually going to go to Purdue or to Baylor because Matt Rule had gone to Baylor. So Kenny Yeboah was going to transfer to Baylor. When Matt Rule got hired by the Carolina Panthers, Kenny Yeboah didn't want to go to Baylor anymore, and he put his name out there. Something like 10 Division I schools courted him to come to their program. And he went to Ole Miss specifically to work with Lane Kiffin. That was the reason that I learned. So, like, that's the whole thing. Like, why would 10 teams, I don't know if it's 10, it could be 8, it could be 11, but something like that. He had a number of offers. Why would all those teams want him to come over as a fifth-year graduate if they didn't see something? They saw it. He was ready to pop. He was good. He was ready to go to that next layer. That's where he is now. He's ready to go to the next level, and we'll see some boneheaded stuff from him. He's young, man, and he's a rookie. But I think Yeboah is exactly the type of guy you want to keep and develop. It would be better if we had like a really good tight end one and he was kind of in the background a little bit and just comes in a little bit. That would be better. Maybe Croft can do that for him. But dude, Kenny Yeboah, he's got real potential, man. Like real potential. He was one of the tight ends I liked the most for that reason. They were calling him a poor man's Kyle Pitts. Now, that's quite the compliment, but still, it reminds people. Some of his game reminds people of Kyle Pitts. All right, so let me see what you guys got here. Let me see. Oh, there's a whole bunch. See, that's what sucks about talking. Like when I start to talk, I can't read the comments. And then when I stop talking, I look and there's like 45 comments. And I really like to get to you guys. I really do. Did you really? So Slaugo just finished a ribeye and green beans. Nice. That's fantastic, man. I love it. Okay, there it is. All right. So let's see what Postman is saying. Yes, he has new rule. Someone stated the league now allows 6 players per practice squad with an unlimited number of accrued seasons. Really? That is very interesting. That is very interesting, Post. So then to go back to what we were saying, who was it again? I'm sorry. Who was it that was? Forgive me. I just can't remember who originally brought it up. But it goes back to your comment. Maybe we're wrong on that with the new COVID rules. Maybe Josh Johnson can be retained on the practice squad. That would be very interesting. And therein makes more sense for me. Yeah, I knew, right. I know that they had different rules. I thought I knew most of them. I didn't retain that one, though. That sounds new to me. So that's interesting. And there you go. So I think it was you, right, Mitch? So that would be cool. That would be very cool. So let's see. Here it is again. The league now allows 6 players per practice squad with an unlimited number of accrued seasons. Additionally, the league allows up to 4 players per team who have earned no more than 2 accrued seasons. The league allows up to 4 players per team who have earned no more. Oh, so up to 2 seasons. So 4 players up to 2 seasons, and then 6. You know what's really interesting? I was reading some stuff, and they said that these new COVID rules pertaining to the practice squad and pertaining to the active players on your game day rosters are wildly successful. Like, people love them. So there's a really good chance that we won't go back to the old rules because everybody prefers it. So why wouldn't you do it if everybody prefers it, right? And then, not for nothing, on a very cool level, it actually allows more people to make NFL rosters, more young guys. When the practice squad was 10 players, now we're talking about, 16 players per roster, 6 times 32. What is that? 12, I don't know. Is that 200 people? Where's Jack Olivari? There I go, buddy. There I go counting for you. So let's talk about Lawrence Cager. Yeah, that's it, even. That's it, Ingle. 88. I know. That's the thing. Hey, there you are, buddy. If you guys haven't checked out Jets Report, he's got a nice channel over there. Real good sound, much better than me. So I at least the sound. I mean, you don't have the beard and all that, but anyway, he's a Jets content creator, and I actually like his channel. So if you get a moment, go check out Jets Report. But yeah, I agree. Yeboah, man, I think, especially in this kind of a year, guys, where we have it's the theme of the season for us, right? It's like we have so many young guys, Sherwood, Nasruddin, even Bryce Hall, and then you got Javelin Guidry, and then Eccles and Michael Carter II, and just all these guys, Hamilcar Rashid and Bryce Huff. Elijah Moore, Zach Wilson. There's just so many young guys. Let's just do it. Let's evaluate these guys. Let's get a young roster and take this year to get these guys a season playing with each other and a season in the NFL. And then we can see if we really need to move on or they're worth developing, Do you know what lot that is? You know what? I think, Joseph Stewart, I think it's lot E. I think. But we'll be telling you guys, like tomorrow night on Ryan's stream, we're gonna probably make a pretty official announcement. This is the unofficial. I'm just talking, and then we're gonna do that every week, every stream, and probably a lot of our videos between now and then, to make sure that you guys know where we're gonna be. So if you are interested in hanging with us, then we can do it. Then you'll know where to go. Let's see. Nice. Yeah, there you go. Jamie Nagar is coming. Yeah, dude, you know what? I'm hoping to lead the chant at least once with you guys. And you know what? I got something else I want to do, because I'm filming some stuff. I have lots of plans, and I want to make like a little short documentary of what it's like, to do all this with you guys. So anyway, I want to get this year, I want to make a concerted effort from all of us to make as much noise as possible to support Klecko being the 2022 senior inductee to the Hall of Fame. So I want to do some of that stuff too. Get some Klecko chants going and all that kind of stuff. Brian Lemos, what's up, my friend? Coleman knows the system better. You have to think that when it comes down to the season, they'll trust him over Adams to know the routes better than Adams, but he has looked better than Coleman. Yeah, well, look, like I said in my stream today, which what a shit show that was. That took me 2 days to record that 45-minute video. It's so crazy. Anyway. But I was saying that I don't think they brought Tevin Coleman over here to cut him. You know, I find it hard to believe. Now, if he would have gotten dinged up, like he wasn't going to start till week 3 or something like that, I think then he could go. But I think, LaFleur said this is his third team with Tevin Coleman. Third team. So he knows him. He brought him over here specifically because they wanted him here. And he's on a cheap deal. So I find it hard to believe. I'll tell you what, Josh Adams made the case. P. Ryan might be in a little bit of trouble, honestly. I don't think so. But, I think Josh Adams definitely did a good job making his case. That's what I think. But I completely agree. For me, it bothers me that we would push a young guy off the team with so much talent for a guy who's clearly not part of our long-term plans. But I think you raise a good point, Brian. I really do. Yeah, Pat Kerwin is the man. He's one of my faves. I just love him. I think he's the best. Right, Harry? Harry loves him too. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's good. So Brian asks, anyone still have that old front office PTSD, like they're going to make some crazy trade soon, but in Douglas we trust? Yeah, dude. Well, you know what? Where it's affecting me, and this is very real, I have to work on it by myself. I'm bracing for the Jets to cut players that I love. You know what I mean? I am. I'm bracing for it because I know the Jets. The Jets have done this time and time again. So my hope is there's going to be some guys that I like that are going to go. Like Corey Levin was one. I didn't keep him on my roster prediction, but I tossed that around. And I was kind of hoping in the back of my brain, I hope they keep him. But I think he'll be a practice squad guy. So, but I'm just bracing for them to cut really good. I still bring it up all the time. When the Jets cut Atari Bigby, I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. When we cut Danny Woodhead. And there are so many examples over the years. So many. I'm just what? Ja'Kai Polite? I was surprised with Ja'Kai Polite, though. Let's see. Keith San Savir found the following on Sporting News website about the practice squad. Teams are also allowed to keep a handful of slightly more experienced players around. These rules were added recently. That might be the 6 with any amount of accrued years. I think that's great. I really do. I think it's great. I was always, I always kind of hoped that there were guys that we could keep on the practice squad, but we weren't allowed to. That's happened a bunch of times. So I think for me, I think that's really good. Hey, Bradigan, what's up, my friend? How you doing, buddy? Got it. Yeah. So that's interesting. I like it. So let's talk about Lawrence Cager. Eminem, what's up, buddy? And the beard is legend. There you go, Big Green. Hello. Hello, my friend. It's good to see you, Big Green. What is that? What kind of pizza am I having? Is that what that is? Oh, steak. Porterhouse. That's a little porterhouse you got. That might be a T-bone, but so Cager was my guy. Rich Ritter says Cager was my guy. Good length, dangerous in the red zone. You want to know, Rich, I'll try to help you feel better. This is what I think is going to happen with Lawrence Cager because his talent is not really in question. Obviously, his size is not in question. He's actually got speed. He's got the length. He's got the hands. He's got the ability. He high points the ball. He's 6'5". When he's high pointing the ball, very few people are going to be up there with him. The problem with him, as we all know, is his availability. He's always injured. So I think they're going to keep him on the practice squad and just see if he can stay healthy on the practice squad, practicing with us every single day. Let's see if he can stay healthy on the practice squad. If he can't, then you got to go somewhere else because the guy can't even stay healthy without playing the games. If he can, then it gives you the indication, okay, let's consider putting him on the roster. So I think that's what they're doing, Rich. So I think you'll see him put on the practice squad. I'm fairly confident in that. I think they like Lawrence Cager. So let's see. Oh, you're of course Jets Report. Yeah, man. No problem, my friend. Is everybody okay with the Cager thing? Were you surprised? Let me see who else we got. The cuts tracker. Let's see. Who else we got here? Lamar Jackson. Yeah, I saw that one coming. But again, I think he's another guy that really warrants a look on the practice squad. You know, I don't think it's unrealistic to think that they might still want to develop him. And like I said in the video, he's actually listed on the depth chart as a third safety, a third strong safety. Maybe it's free safety. I do forget. I'm sorry. But so he's the third safety listed. So what does that mean? That means they're at least considering that with him. In my opinion, with his size and his skill set, he may be better suited for safety. Like we've talked about, he's much better with the play in front of him. It's when he has to turn around and the play's to his back that he's in danger. You know? So he did have that nice pick in the preseason. I think it was against the Packers. That was nice. Here, let me share this with you guys and see where we are. Hold on. Okay. All right, let me get that off real quick. There it is. So here we go. We already talked about Lawrence Cager. We talked a little bit about Lamar Jackson. I'm curious to hear what you guys think of him. Do you think that maybe we shouldn't bring him back on the practice squad? Do you disagree with me on the potential to move him to safety, or do you think we should move on? JT Hassel. Look at that. That's another surprising one. I had him on my list as being retained. But I think, you know what, man, he had that really good Giants game, right? And then he had a very bad Green Bay game. I don't really remember how we did in the Eagles game, but so he's raw. They might be wanting to bring him back. I'm not sure. So what do you guys think of those guys? What do you guys think? And then we'll get into some predictions and stuff like that. I'm not going to hang out too long tonight, maybe 3 or 4 hours. That's it, though. Okay? That's it. So here we go. Lawrence Cager, JT Hassel, Aaron Adoye, defensive end. So they probably, with bringing on Lawson, that makes sense. Corey Levin, as we talked a little bit about, I thought that he has some potential. I think that he might be another one that we're trying to slide through. And then we have Jeremiah Valuega. So 2 defensive ends. 2 defensive ends. 2 previous years with the Raiders. So then, the new one, it looks pretty official, guys. Josh Johnson looks like he is in fact cut. So what do you think?
We needed a new home in a dry climate.
And with Realtor.com's draw and map feature.
Don't you hate when websites just start playing videos? Let's see. Isn't that crazy, Sir Robin? What were you guys telling me? What's the math on that again? Is it 846 players that are about to be cut league-wide? 800 players are going to have their dreams shaken up in the next 24 hours. Isn't that crazy to think about? Yep, I saw that, Jeremy. So, we worked out Dion Jordan today. And while he's been a major disappointment considering, third overall and all that jazz. Saleh worked with him. So if Saleh likes him, I don't know how he did last year. Anybody feel like looking up Deion Jordan's stats? This is why I need somebody on here with me that's specifically stats. What do you think? You know what I mean? Just somebody I can go, what's up with the practice squad? And they go, boom. What's up with the thing? And they say that. Wouldn't that be neat? You don't trust Cager's hands? Cager's hands are pretty good. That's not an issue. He's not known for his drops. It's matter of fact, I think he's known as having pretty strong hands. At least that's what I remember. That's just it, Eminon. I think it's really just this, Frankie, like Eminon's saying. And that's the other thing too, Vervain. I think that Lawrence Cager could use some time. Like, again, I think number one, above all else, we have to see if he can stay on the field. Using a roster spot for somebody who in his entire career in college, last year with the Jets, he cannot stay on the field. Can't do it. So you don't use a roster spot for that guy. But putting him on the practice squad and saying, okay, buddy, we're going to work you every day. Let's see if you can stay healthy. And if he does, after another year of work with Miles Austin and all that, okay. Don't forget, man, Miles Austin was a very good receiver, so he's known as a pretty good receivers coach. But in addition to that, we got some real quality vets on here. Corey Davis and Jamison Crowder, dude, those are good dudes. Keelan Cole, like these are good supportive guys. So I think anybody hanging around on the bottom end of our wide receiver group, I think it's going to benefit from those guys. Cadoza, what's up? What's up, man? It's good to see you. So, all right, let me see you. Just to get off the Jets for a second, GreenBean, what do you think will happen to Deshaun Watson? I think, did you hear what they said today, Nick? They talked about being prepared to keep him on the roster and just make him inactive every single week. Now, why would they do that? Because selling him, for lack of a better term, selling when the value's low, so trading him, right? When the value's low, doesn't make sense. So they'll just hold on to him. I mean, if somebody comes in and says, hey, I'll give you 3 firsts and a wide receiver or something like that. Okay. But remember, what did they say? They want 4 first-round picks. They wanted a few other picks and a player, a starter. They're out of their mind. But if Deshaun Watson is cleared, they probably have a better argument for that. Trying to argue 4 first-round picks, a second and a fourth plus a starter, I think that's a pretty tough argument right now. So if they don't have those people interested in that type of a payout, then they just hold them. So I think more than likely what we're going to see, Nick, is we're going to see him on the Texans this year, but he won't play. He won't play. So let's see. Let me see here. Here's what I did. Oh, yeah. All right. Let me show you guys this. I'm going to share my screen with you again, and I'm going to show you my little nifty thing that I did. Oh, for God's sakes. Dang it. Hold on. I want to share this with you so it'll look nice. It'll look nice. Okay. Wait, hold on. So here's my tight ends. Oh, did I move? What happened? Whoa. Hold on. What happened? What the hell happened? Oh, wait, hold on a second. See, this is what it looks like when the old man gets to... What am I doing, guys? I thought I had it all figured out. Do 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 do. There we go. So what do you think? These are my 3 tight ends. Now, you've heard me say for how long that I think Herndon should be traded, Herndon should be cut, all those things. But when you look at our situation objectively right now, Tyler Kroft is on the team. He's a lock. Daniel Brown, while I do think he's an okay player, he had all those drops and he's like 4th or 5th on the depth chart to start with, so that's not a good look. I think he's gone. Then you got Ryan Griffin and Chris Herndon. Me personally, I would choose Ryan Griffin. And I think Joe Douglas likes Ryan Griffin. But he's injured. So they might keep him and try to squeeze him on the practice squad. I'm not sure. Put him on IR, for a few weeks. I don't know. But I think that goes a long way toward justifying keeping Chris Herndon. He's healthy. And he's an NFL tight end. It's phantom-like, but there is upside, potential. So what do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of the tight end? You like that font? Yeah, it's my fave. It's my go-to font. I made it. I didn't. I didn't. Wesco is our fullback, Cadoza. Yeah. I know, Scott. Me too. I'm over Herndon too, but again, I think it's just like I said, when you look at our situation, it makes sense to do it. Now, let's say Zach Ertz is cut. Let's say some of these other young tight ends that the Jets were looking at in last year's draft or whatever it might be. Let's say they see one of those. I think Chris Herndon might be out. I am saying right now, while it makes me nervous to say it, Kenny Yeboah is making this team, and he should make this team. So what do you guys think of that? O.J. Howard. How old is O.J. Howard these days? Yeah, he's better than Herndon. I think he's better than Herndon. Herndon. Oh, I like that, Rich Ritter. Yeah. So Robin says, Yeboah's got that player of destiny vibe going after Salah handed him the game ball in the locker room. Wasn't that great? Now, I want to point out what I thought was most striking in that video. Granted, I loved what Salah said, all that sort of stuff. Did you see how the team responded when they gave Kenny Yeboah the game ball? It wasn't just like, yeah, there was all the jumping up and down and all that kind of stuff. That to me, and maybe I'm wrong, but that to me signifies a group of young guys and vets that know someone has potential, and they were kind of watching them work and all those kinds of things, and they were waiting, and it happened, and he won him the game. He had a great game. So I think that's what we saw. These players like him. They were rooting for him, and they're all kind of in this together, so to speak. But that's what it looked like to me. When they were jumping up and down, all that stuff, to me, I saw a bunch of guys that knew he was putting in the work, and it happened for him. So they're genuinely excited for the guy. Yeah, they did cheer. That was so great. Nick Chaplin says, I love Kenny Yeboah. That Hail Mary secured his entrance to the promised land. I know, it's funny too, right? Because obviously Hail Marys are luck, all right? There's 99% of that is luck. Where the ball comes, where you jump, the whole thing. But he did catch it. Almost effortlessly to me. Just kind of went, boop, And I didn't like how he catch it, how he caught it. Look at this spammer. Postman, you got to get these guys. Jeremy, I think I have you as a mod too, right, buddy? So, but the rest of the game, the first touchdown was more impressive to me than the Hail Mary. My throat hurts. I talk too much. You know? Yeah. Nice. Thanks, Post. Yeah, no, he's definitely injured. He's listed as questionable for week 1. So I think that's the edge right there. Like Chris Herndon's ready to go. Ryan Griffin isn't. Now maybe they try to, with this new rule, maybe they try to stuff Ryan Griffin on the practice squad. Okay. But I think they could get away with IR too if they keep him. Then again, then you got to risk somebody else. You got to dangle somebody else by the waivers. So I don't know. So what do you guys? So we had JT Hassel. We had Lamar Jackson, Josh Johnson, right? Who was the other guy? Oh, the 2 defensive ends. Any thoughts on the defensive ends? I mean, I think it was a clear upgrade, right? When you look at Valuaga versus Carl Lawson. I mean, I'm sorry. What the hell? Jack Lawson. Sheesh. You know, I don't think it's arguable. It's an upgrade. Maybe they try to stuff one on the practice squad. That's what's so cool with it being 16 players. Because then you can take a little liberty. A little bit more liberty. You know what I mean? And I think that's cool. All right, let's see what else we got. I'm going to back it up and just try to scan a little bit and see. Oh, Amarillo, what's up, buddy? Good to see you, man. That's right. Brashad Perryman was cut today. Let me get this off the screen. So that's my tight ends. So Brashad Perryman was cut today. Last year, he was our wide receiver 1. My, how times have changed. Yeah. Look, we were talking about Lawrence Cager. This is another one. I mean, the guy is uber talented. He's a very good wide receiver. He can't stay healthy, man. Can't do it. Sucks. He just can't. I don't think he's had one season where he's made it the whole season. So Detroit probably identified that. I mean, Detroit is Detroit. I don't know what they're doing half the time. Like, you see what they did with Penei Sewell? Now, I think he's going to be fine. But Penei Sewell, dude, you have a dominant left tackle. They're calling him generational. I forget the name of their left tackle, but they do have a good left tackle there. Very good. But then why draft Penei Sewell? You know, use that top 10 pick for something else. Like you brought in Penei Sewell and then you try to make him into a right tackle, where people underestimate how difficult that is. Oh yeah, just make him play left tackle, make him play right tackle. I mean, a lot of times they can, but it takes time. Like, he's literally reversing all of his technique that he's worked on for forever. He's now got to reverse it and play against NFL caliber guys after having an opt-out year. So I don't know. I think that's the stuff to me that bad teams do. Like, you have a top 10 pick, right? You have a top 10 pick, and with that top 10 pick, you create a hurdle for yourself. You know what I mean? Top 10 picks, man, that guy should be coming in and being an impact. Now, I love Penei Sewell, and I think he's going to be fine. But again, why create that for yourself? It's my thoughts. So maybe what they're doing with Brashad Perryman isn't the right move. I don't know. Maybe he was the best wide receiver in their clubhouse. I don't know. But the thing is with Brashad Perryman is that guy cannot stay healthy. Can't do it. And it's sad. Hey, Gitmo Bob. Brian James, are you talking about Deshaun Watson? 3 first, 2 seconds? 3 first, 2 seconds, and a player. Sheesh. Sheesh, Luis. So, yeah, Cadoza, West Coast going to be our fullback. And you know what I think? Here, look, I'll show you what I did here. I'll show you what I did. Let me see if I can do it. Do. Oh, I got to open these. Hold on. So here's what I did. Here's what I did for you guys. It just takes me too long. This is the last one I'm going to do it to because it takes me too long to do this stuff because I'm not smart. So, but here's what I did. Fullback, we got one, and this is another reason why I think LaMichael Pirine should stay. But I'm going to show you guys some stuff on LaMichael Pirine. But I think that he would be a serviceable backup in the event Trayvon Wesco gets hurt. That's what I think. I don't think he's quite the same. They would have to modify the plans and the game plan and all that, but, you know. So let's see. Let's see here. The thing is, let me tell you guys something about the Perryman Robbie thing. Now, Joe Douglas is the kind of guy where he's not going to tip his hand. He's not going to tell you stuff. Okay, I think we've gathered that so far. So when we're talking about the Robbie thing, he said that was a mistake that I'd like to have back, right? But the thing that we can't forget, and this is very real, Robbie Anderson did not like Adam Gase. Adam Gase threw him under the bus in press conferences no less than 2 times. Threw Robbie Anderson under the bus. So Robbie Anderson, we could have offered the same money that the Carolina Panthers offered. He would have taken the Panthers. But we were waiting. We had an offer into Robbie. Remember, as soon as they signed him, we signed Perryman hours later. Hours. Not a week, hours. So what I gather is that we had our offer into Robbie. Now, maybe we could have upped it a little bit or whatever. Maybe. But from the way everything that I looked at, it looks like we probably offered something very, very similar. And he was waiting for a comparable offer so he didn't have to play for Adam Gase again. And quite frankly, Sam Darnold, who he said he loves, but, Sam wasn't getting him the ball. Sam wasn't able to throw those deep passes. How many times did we see Robbie Anderson open and missed by Sam? Either overthrown or underthrown. So I think I don't think that we chose Perryman over Robbie. I think Perryman was our consolation that he was comfortable with. I think that he was like, okay, well, if Robbie doesn't sign, I'm signing this guy. That's what I think. I might be wrong. Nick Chaplin. Detroit is as dysfunctional as their coach biting kneecaps. I know, dude. Somebody said to me, well, what do you expect him to say? I'm like, what? What do you expect him to say? I know what he's saying. I said, dude, what do you mean, what do I expect him to say? I expect him to say anything but that. We've never heard that in the history of the NFL. There's plenty to say. There's plenty of things you could have said except that. So he says, Yoshi says, yeah, and it was a big whiff thinking Brashad Perryman could be wide receiver 1 with an injury history, even though he did show out when he played with Flacco. He did. But I think it is. I think the honest truth is that the idea of Mims taking that number 1 role and having Jamison Crowder, Mims, and Perryman out there, dude, that's a good group. It's a good group. Mims couldn't stay healthy. And Perryman couldn't stay healthy. So instead, we had Malone and Hogan. It's crazy. But I think that's, I think that's the thing. I do think, one of the things we have to remember is, like, even though I'm a pretty big Joe Douglas supporter, I support him. I like most of what I see. And really what I like is the overall, like the macro vantage point, like what he's done to this organization. I like it. But that doesn't mean I like everything. But at the same time, we have to remember that he's only been doing this 2 years. Now, yes, he has all the pedigree and he's got all the experience underneath, but being the guy who makes the decisions, like for the first time, you're going to hit bumps. You're going to make bad moves. It's inevitable. It's inevitable. It's absolutely going to happen. But when we look at his good versus his bad, in my opinion, the good significantly outweighs the bad. And some of that stuff, we still have lots of question marks. Jabari Zuniga, James Morgan, even Ashton Davis, who was just upgraded off the physically unable to perform list today, which is great news. Great news. But he's still a major question mark. So is Bryce Hall, Javelin Guidry, even though he's an undrafted free agent, Bryce Huff, Hamilcar Rashed, Jamie. And so we have lots of question marks. But I like the mentality. I like how it's being done. The players, we still have to see if they're the right players. So I think the Perryman Robbie thing, I'm not defending it necessarily because I think you should have just offered him the $2 million more, but that doesn't mean that he would come. That's my real point. Is that there's things there we don't know. And Joe Douglas isn't going to throw Gase under the bus and say, yeah, well, fucking the guy wouldn't come here. He wouldn't play for my Walking Dead coach. So let's see what else we got. Oh, he was so bad. Yeah, I just think that he would be the reserve. Maybe, I don't know, Herndon's over. I think his blocking is overestimated. He's okay. I don't disagree, though, Franz. I hear you. I thought about that. I did the fullbacks before tight. When I was making this, I'll be real honest, I had Griffin in there as tight end. Anyway, I think Griffin could probably fill in too, but he's another one. So he's banged up. Yeah, I agree. I'm with you guys on that one. So Brian says Jamar is the biggest letdown for me so far, especially since he's on my fantasy. I hope he gets the rookie jitters out and starts catching the balls. Well, he opted out too. So these guys probably have a little bit longer road to come back. I don't think, I think, again, with the preseason, just like Zach Wilson said, he said it beautifully. He really did. He said, I'm working on stuff. I'm trying to see what I can do and what I can't do, what I can get away with. So I think there's a lot of that going on for these young guys. And they're learning new systems, all that stuff. So I think Jamar Chase is going to be fine. That's my thoughts. That's what I think. Yo, Wadded GreenBean. I'm not sure what that means, no name, but love the content. Excited about the season. We'll be at the Pats game with my number 99 rebuilding jersey. Can't wait. Yeah, man, I hope to see you. That'll be awesome. I'm not sure. Keith. I'm not sure. Any other opt-outs struggling? I'm really not sure. All right, so let's see. So let's do this. And then we'll kind of bounce out of here. It's a nice little bonus, right? We hung out. We had a good hang. What do you guys think? Who do you think the most surprising cut coming is going to be? What's up, Matthias Simon? It's good to see you, my friend. Matt, if you're going to the game, let me know, the Pats game. I'd love to see you. I'm going to go. So what do you guys think? What do you guys think is going to be the big surprise cut coming in the next, what is it now? I don't know, 14 hours or something. I don't fucking know, man. I can't count for anything. 16 hours? What do you guys think the big one's going to be? And then we'll look at a couple things. Go hanger while you're doing that. I watched Kurt Warner break down tape of the wide receivers for the Panthers. He mentioned multiple times that Robbie put in the work to run routes, and he could see the noticeable difference. Oh, yeah. Well, he started that here, Go Hanger. He started that here. He placed a focus on expanding his route tree. He didn't want to be a one-trick pony. I think he's done a great job. And look, man, what was the big concern outside of his behavior stuff in the early going of Robbie's career? It was his frame. It's too slight. 185 pounds, 6'3". He looks like looks like he's going to get broken in half. The guy stays healthy, man. Can't take that from him. Can't take that from him. The thing I don't like about Robbie Anderson, while I do like him, is that when the ball's not going to him, he tends to not play as hard. Like when he doesn't think there's an opportunity. There was a guy that broke all this stuff down, and I agree with that. I've noticed that. And then his blocking is not very good. But I think we're nitpicking a little bit. So let's see. Oh wait, I saw one from, where was it? Strickland, and then we'll move into, so tell me who you think the big name, not necessarily the big name, but the big surprise cut is going to be. Peyton Manning has never been called out by any media for Gase, and it's ridiculous. But they have to kiss his ass for some reason. And that's weird, isn't it? He called the Cleveland Browns too, right before they hired Freddie Kitchens. He called them and lobbied for Gase. Then he called us, and it worked. The Browns, with Dorsey as their GM at the time, just said, yeah, thank you, but no thank you. I'll do my own evaluation. Thank you very much. Chris Johnson said, wait, you're giving me the inside scoop? Huh. That's interesting. You know what? I trust you, Peyton Manning. Why would you lie to me? And you're one of the greatest people on the planet. And there it goes. It's just that's what happens when you have weak-minded individuals in leadership. Not that Chris is weak-minded in his life, but as far as knowing what to do on, building a football team, who could even argue that? Chris Johnson has no idea what he's doing. Clearly. So let's see what we got here. Nathan Shepard, right? I know I actually have him on the cut list as well, which disappoints me because I think he's solid. I really do. I think he's a solid defensive tackle. He's a very good run stopper, and 2 years ago he had 5 sacks. A little bit disappointing last year, in my opinion. But I still think he's a good player. Yeah, I'm glad to have you, Matt. Ooh, Joseph Schwartz says Herndon. You think he's going to get cut? So who are we keeping over him? Griffin, you think? It's definitely not Daniel Brown, right? I can't see Brown getting the nod. I would have issue with that. I would. Indy 94445 says Zuniga and Shepard. Zuniga, I think, yeah, man, he's another one. Remember what I was just saying about Lawrence Cager? How they're going to get him on the practice squad and say, if you can stay healthy there, then we'll consider. If you can't stay healthy on the practice squad, you're done. I think the same exact thing applies to Jabari Zuniga. He's going to clear waivers. He hasn't, what has he played? 3 games, including the preseason game in his whole career? He cannot stay healthy. It's always injured. And he was injured his senior year in college too. So I think that's the best idea with him. Bring him back on the practice squad and see if he can stay healthy. If he can, then we'll reintroduce the idea that you can be something for us. Y2K99 says Shepard. Ooh, Jets forever. This is one. Berrios. That's going to be an interesting one. I think we're going to keep 7 receivers, Jets forever. And in that case, I think Berrios will make it. But I see it too, man. I do. And I'm going to tell you right now, if that happens, Jets fans are going to lose their marbles. There's a very solid support base for Berrios in our midst. So No Name says, I'm not sure Herndon makes it. Right. Frankie from Flatbush says, I think Shep definitely gets cut. I'm seeing it too, Frankie. I am. Like I said, it bothers me a little bit, but amen. Jonathan Marshall came out and looked better than you, quite frankly. And he's more athletic. He's got more potential, more upside. Nathan Shepard is already like old, not old, but we drafted him. He was 26, right? 25, 26. So what is he, almost 30 now? Let me see. Let me see how old he is. He's 27. Okay. So he's not that old. Oh yeah, you're welcome in Sneakers to Boots. Yeah, impromptu hang, right? Why not? Morgan, Mr. Magix says James Morgan. Now, Mr. Magix, do you think he's going to come back on the practice squad? I would think so, right? What do you think? You think they're just going to outright cut him? He did have that Hail Mary. Christopher Moran says Kenny Yeboah is headed to the practice squad. It's very possible. I disagree, but it's definitely possible. It's definitely possible, especially if, let's say, a couple tight ends shake loose that they really like. Maybe guys they would have drafted much earlier. They did say they had a 4th round grade on Kenny Yeboah, but maybe somebody else that could muck up the works. I don't think Kenny Yeboah clears waivers. That's me. I could be dead wrong. I think that if you take that risk and cut Kenny Yeboah trying to sneak him on the practice squad, I think one of the 31 teams is going to grab him. He's too young, too much potential. That's my thought. And he showed up last preseason game. He looked good. Teams saw that. So I don't know, Chris. I don't know. I'd be nervous if that happens. Oh, don't worry, Tom. You're good, man. I told you, you're never late. You guys are never late. So Ultimate Clashers says James Morgan as well. I'm curious to see. I think he's going to get cut too. I do, but I think the intention is to get him on the practice squad. If we keep 3 quarterbacks, then he's staying. Definitely. If we keep 2, then we're going to see him go to the practice squad, or at least they're going to try to. Wouldn't that be something? Use a 4th round pick on him, develop him a little bit, try to get him on the practice squad, and somebody plucks him for free. Belichick. Remember, there was the rumors that Belichick was really high on him and was going to take him, so that's part of the motivation for Joe Douglas to do that. Gitmo says any JD draft pick. So you mean that would be surprising, Bob? Give us a name, though. Help us. Come on, join in the fun. Come on, Bob. Who's your guy? Who do you think is going to be cut, but it's going to surprise a lot of people? Which one would surprise you? Hopefully none, Sir Robin says. I know. John Amarello says, my boy Zuniga. I think so too, man. I mean, dude, you as much as I like him, you can't stay on the field. He had 2 or 3 plays against the Giants. 2 or 3. One of them at least was a very significant pressure on a sack. He didn't get the sack, but he cut off the outlet for the quarterback to go anywhere. And I think it was Jonathan Marshall. I don't remember. Forgive me. And then 2 plays later, he was out of the game again. It's like, what are you going to do? So I think they're going to try to get him on the practice squad again. I'm fairly confident he's going to clear waivers. I don't think we have to worry about that. JW says Morgan is a goner. See, I find it so interesting. Like I just said, I think Morgan, if there's 3, he stays. If there's 2, he's cut, and they want to get him on the practice squad. But we have to remember what James Morgan was drafted to be. He was drafted to be a developmental quarterback. Still hate it. I'm not justifying the pick. I want you to know that. But he's here to be developed. So, and remember, last year there was no development, none. We had no quarterback coach. We had no training camp, no preseason. We had Adam Gase, all that stuff. So there was very little, if any, actual development going on last year. So this is his first year. So cutting someone that's in the middle of the process that you drafted him for seems odd to me. Now, if he just flat out sucks and you see like this, I got to cut my losses here. Sure. But I don't think I don't think he does. I think he's showing improvement. He's being developed. Still not. Oh, Lo Leary, what's up, buddy? It's good to see you, man. He says he's still not over losing Robbie. Yeah, you're not alone, man. You're not alone on that one, Matt. I'll tell you that. It's a tough one, you know. But the thing is, too, I think like right now, I'm very happy with our wide receiver core. So it's okay. Last year stung a little bit more for me because Robbie was down there leading the NFL for a couple weeks there. And he had a very good season. But that first few, 4 or 5 weeks, he was like first in the NFL in yardage. And then we have Chris Hogan and Malone starting. You know what I mean? It was painful. That was a painful one. So Yoshi says Zuniga's getting cut. I agree. I do. I'd be very surprised if he's not cut. Again, think he's going to the practice squad. Yeah. Well, this was interesting. So No Name says it came out in camp that Herndon was not having an easy time picking up the playbook, and I think that will be his downfall. Don't forget, LaFleur was interviewed one time. It was actually, they were talking about drops in camp and everything. And he said, drops are not what we're looking for right now. He said, we know, like, they can catch. What we want to see is how well they're absorbing what we're giving them. That's the key. So they were looking at specific, aspects of it, of their development like that. So, a guy drops a pass here or there. It's okay. We have 4 years of college tape or 2 years of NFL tape. Like, we know the guy can catch. It's, are they learning what we need them to learn and being able to apply it without thinking and making those mistakes and then leading to drops and all that kind of stuff. And, dude, if Herndon's not picking it up, it doesn't bode well for him. Like I said, I think he's going to make it. I do. I think he's going to make it. But I think we should trade him. So, yeah, O'Leary, man, he's here, dudes. We had Paul Esden. We got Jets Report. We got O'Leary. We got Yoshi. Yeah, man. We got Frankie from Flatbush and Jeremy from the Calm and Chaos show. Yeah, we're all in here. It's great. So Jets Forever says Berrios. Yeah, that's what so Frankie agrees with me. Where was it? Yeah, Chris Moran. And then Frankie's kind of echoing what I said. He said, with as hard as it is to find quality tight ends, I find it hard to believe Yeboah clears waivers. I feel the same way. So, like, if you make a decision on Yeboah, it's really the decision is, does he make the roster or are we cutting him? Like, really cutting him. Because I don't think he clears. He's got too much potential. Okay. Static noise? You're hearing a static noise? Are you hearing the bugs? Mitt Flair. Are you hearing my bugs? You hear them all? Or are you hearing something else? You guys hearing other stuff? What's the noise you're hearing though? That? Did it just start? Oh. Let me know. Anybody else hearing the noise? Is it the bugs? Is that what you're talking about? You hear that? Like, there's bugs. I'm literally, you guys see, I'm outside. Right? Yeah, it's too dark. You can't see. That's literally the woods right there. There's probably an acre of woods, just a little river. That's where I am, man. So let's see. Let me see. Back it up. Interesting. Chris Bradigan says, I'm still of the mindset that Morgan was a Gase pick. And if that is the case, his protection, his plot immunity might not be as thick if it's a Joe Douglas pick. That's a good point. That is a good point. Let's see. Now, Franz, he had 106 snaps at the outside linebacker position, which he'd never played. So that's the thing you got to remember. Like, Zuniga is a hand-in-the-dirt defensive end, and he was very good in college. But again, his issue in college was injuries. I'm very high on Zuniga, on his talent, but I don't disagree. I don't disagree with the idea of cutting him. But I just, look, I think a lot of times, a lot of people are sometimes they're a little quicker to get rid of guys that obviously have talent. The most recent example is Demario Davis, right? Like, listen, and I talk to Jets fans constantly since 1996 online. Demario Davis was called a Jag thousands of times by Jets fans. And then the best, it was like, he's a serviceable guy. And look, he's been an all-pro. Now, I'm not saying we wait for 8 years for Jabari Zuniga to get well, but the guy was injured for the first 2/3 of last season, came in, and then they stuffed him in a new position, which he's never played. It's not suited to him, and he didn't do well, So on a loser team, not that should have anything to do with a young guy trying to make his first impact. But we got to remember that. And there was no training camp, and all the stuff that we keep hearing. You know what I mean, friends? But anyway, I think Zuniga has the talent. He just doesn't have the health. Yeah, I think so, Chris. Either way, no more pass rushers from Florida, please. And no more quarterbacks from USC. Can we just do that, please? I know. Everybody, it doesn't matter, the history doesn't mean this guy is going to be good or bad. I get it. But there are other things going on in this world. The mystic, right? Mr. Magics, it's the mystical stuff. The Jets, USC quarterbacks, no. The Jets, defensive ends from Florida, no. It is crazy, Emanon. 840 players. It's crazy. Who wanted out, Jack? Who wanted it? Yeah, I agree. Oh, Herndon. Yeah, oh no. Let me see. Let me go down. I'm way behind on the chat. Let me just catch up. Oh, hey Jack, thank you. Thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Who's your favorite sleeper in the secondary from our group? I guess, Bryce Hall's my favorite out of the group. I don't think he's a sleeper. I think out of the batch that we just brought in, I like Michael Carter II the most. But Eccles seemed to have the best preseason. Didn't he? I think he kind of surprised me. Pinnock had some special teams plays, but I didn't find him to be landing on his feet too well so far. You know what I mean? So I think my favorite guy, Michael Carter II. Here's a sleeper for you. Everybody's so high on Javelin Guidry, and I do think my thoughts are that just looking at everything, he probably should get the day one start at nickel. But I think, and I Salah's comments yesterday made me think this. He said Michael Carter II is a starting caliber receiver in this league. So, and that's the guy I like the best out of the group of cornerbacks that we drafted, Jack. That's the guy. So, yeah, that's what I think. So, Steven, he says, unfortunately, GreenBean, hey, what's up? This is Sack Exchange, right? I never know with the T. What's up, buddy? GreenBean, we have to be honest, but there's a chance the 2020 draft class can go south besides a couple of guys. Sure. Even Mims, right? But I don't believe that to be the case. I don't. But I'll tell you what. The middle of it, Cam Clark, James Morgan, Jabari Zuniga, Ashton Davis. Dude, every single one of them has the same problem. Injuries. And then you can add Mims to that list. You can add Mims. They say he's going to be good to go week 1. Great. Ashton Davis might be good to go week 1. Great. Let's see them make it a little bit. Mims is an absolute stud. And he didn't have so much of an injury history at Baylor. He had that wrist thing, like a broken wrist, but he wasn't like a guy that you thought was going to be injured all the time. And he's been injured constantly. Oh, a bunch of chains. I'm just looking at your thing. Just bugs. Okay, the noise is gone. I'm minutes late. Yeah. Because that's what I mean. It's like it's impossible, especially when I'm alone. You know what I mean? Like when O'Leary and I are on Ryan's show, on Ryan's channel, Jets Talk 24/7, Talking Jets panel. It's easy because Matt and I are scouring the chat the whole time. Ryan's running the show. And Matt and I are kind of in there, and then we talk, and then Ryan brings us in when we want to talk about something. Me, I'm trying to keep track, and it's like somebody says something, and I spend 30 seconds or 3 minutes talking about it. By the time I do that, 35 new chats have come in. No, but Liam's saying it was my mic. That's interesting. Everybody says it's just the bugs. Okay, that's so funny. That's so funny. I missed it. Right. That's the thing, Bob. I do agree with that. He's essentially a rookie. And right, that's a good point too. Maybe even having an uphill battle. And he's not even at rookie level because of the damage that Gase could have inflicted upon him in the short time they were together. But I like what Chris Bradigan said, man. That he's convinced that it is a Gase pick. If that's the case, much different. Much different. What's up, Rockaway Archie? How you doing, buddy? It's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. Let's see. If Tevin, well, that's the thing, Nick. If he makes the team over Josh Adams, it's stupid. But I've been saying it. I've been saying it since we brought Tevin Coleman on the roster. On this one, I'm way ahead of the curve. I like Josh Adams. I think he's a good running back, quality. So I don't like the idea of pushing a young, quality running back with a very interesting size to skill ratio. Like he's an interesting build. I hate the idea of pushing him off the roster for a guy who's more than likely going to be here 1 year. But dude, Joe Douglas might be thinking, like, I intend to draft a running back every year. Always having young legs, somewhere in the 4th to 6th round, just grabbing a running back every year. So why does I know what Tevin Coleman can bring to this team now, and I'll replace Josh Adams next year. So, and if that's the mindset, how can you argue with it? Letting running backs kind of filter through here. We have a running back by committee. Everybody gets 2, 3, 4 years, and then we just let them go. and just bring in the new guys, always having young legs. It's not like the old NFL. We had a running back for, 8 to 10 years. He was our running back. And then we had a backup running back. It's not the case, especially in this offense. So I think it's interesting. It's interesting. But I agree with you. Just on the surface level, I want to keep him. I do. Jets Forever says Mike White is cut. Is he cut, or are you just saying that's your prediction? I got it. Forgot what I asked. Let's see. Yeah, I think they like Mike White a lot. But again, my thought is that James Morgan has more long-term upside, and they used a draft pick on him. But if it's a Gase pick and Joe Douglas is like, hey, man, he's on even footing with everybody else, then that would be funny. So Frankie says, Yeboah put a lot on tape this preseason for other teams to evaluate, and much of it was good after game one. Yeah, that's the whole thing, Frankie, right? It's like he was, the answer whenever I say, or the response whenever I say Kenny Yeboah won't clear waivers, most of the time what I get was nobody drafted him for a reason. I get it. But just like what Frankie said, they all liked him. He just didn't get drafted. There's a devaluation of the tight end position going on anyway. That's a whole different thing. But what he put on tape, especially the most recent game, people are going to say, okay, he can do it. He's worth bringing in. He's better than the guy I have at tight end 3. I don't think he clears waivers. I don't think there's a chance in hell he clears waivers. All right, let me catch up a little bit here. I'm sorry if I'm missing people's good comments. If you had a comment that I didn't read, and you really want, just write it again. I'm going to go down. I'm going to scroll to the bottom. Okay. So Go Hangard says Fowler for me is a good for the run, but he's not consistent enough for pass rusher. He mainly sets the edge. Jeremy Fowler? Yeah. Well, you'd have to trade. They're not cutting him, are they? Right? I didn't hear anything. I like Fowler. I think he's a good football player. But I think he's a rotational football player. Hey, Matt, my take on Shaq Lawson, this is my take. It's funny. Somebody not yelled at me, but somebody jumped on me for saying this on Twitter. I said, if somebody asked you if you would trade Jordan Willis and a 7th for Shaq Lawson, would you do it? Because that's literally what happened. Okay. We traded Jordan Willis and a 7th to the Niners for a 6th in 2022 draft. And then we used said 6th to acquire Shaq Lawson. So I think absolutely. Now, am I thinking Shaq Lawson is going to come in and replace Carl Lawson? No. But I think when you look at the bottom end of our roster, Valuaga and the other guy that we just cut, I don't think you can argue that Shaq Lawson is an upgrade. He's a good football player. He's not meeting his first-round potential. All right, he hasn't done that yet. But, dude, the guy's a good football player. I think last year he had, 25 hurries, 14 knocked quarterback hits, and 4 sacks. Like, he's in there. He's affecting the game. Like I said, not what we hoped Carl Lawson would be and not what Shaq Lawson was supposed to be, but he's a good football player. He's an NFL-level football player and has had impact. I think 6th-round pick, absolutely. I think it's a great move. Somebody else told me that, what did they tell me? Oh, shit, I completely lost it. I don't know. I lost it. It's gone. I'm telling you, it just went phew. Shaq Lawson. I don't know. Sorry. Yes, he said it's a luxury to have 2 starting nickels on your team. It's good. It's great, man. He said we got to get them both on the field. So I think, look, I'm not rooting for it. I'm definitely not. I mean this sincerely. I'm not that kind of fan. I don't want somebody on my team to suck to prove a point that I made 6 months ago. Like, that's not who I am. But I do think that Javelin Guidry is concerning. And I think that that's more than likely going to pop out soon. I hope it doesn't. I would love nothing more than Javelin Guidry to be an all-pro. I'm telling you. I mean that. Especially with that name, which I love. But I don't know. He's concerning to me. I just don't love his game. Mike G says, I'm nervous about the young secondary. Hey, man, join the crowd, Mike. Join the crowd. I think it's going to be so exciting to see these guys. You know, it's going to be exciting to watch all these young players and see how they progress through the season. Game 1, it sucks that it's against Sam because I want to beat him so badly. But there's probably going to be a lot of ugliness. A lot of ugliness. If we can get pressure on him, which I think Shaq Lawson helps with, if we can get pressure on Sam, real pressure, I think then, you know, I think we might see some of those erratic mistakes that he makes. But if Sam gets cool, you've seen it. We've all seen it. When he's calm and collected in the pocket, he can tear you up. He just didn't do that very much, especially last year. Me too, David Gerard. I would rather keep him. I just don't see it. Like I said, I don't think they brought him over here just to cut him. Because considering how well they know him. You know, this is LaFleur's third team with Tevin Coleman. So that's just my thought. Now we know why we had no interest in re-signing Poole. Oh, yeah, you like the green hue under the beard? Why is that, Jeremy? What do you mean? I usually have green back there, too, but I didn't feel like doing it. I wanted to check out white. The green hue. The green beard. Right? If I hid it behind the comment, if I hid the green hue behind the comment, wait, oh, it's this way. You guys wouldn't know. Yeah, I don't know. Poole's out for the year, is he? Is he really? That's right, Braden. Q and Rankins need to be A+. That's what they need to be. That's what needs to go on. And like Huff and Shaq Lawson and Rashid and John Franklin Myers, like we have to be able to get some pressure. The good news is Carolina's line isn't all that great. I didn't hear that about Poole. He's out for the year? That sucks, man. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, that's a bummer. I mean, look, I don't delight in that stuff, man. Look at us. We lost 2 guys for the year. Big ones for us. So maybe Poole had like a little injury going on. And the Jets knew it. Just said, we're not interested. You know? I'll tell you what, Go Hangard. I'm in. I love it. But I don't care who does it. It could be if Javelin Guidry, the guy I like least on the defense, if he came away with 3 picks, I'd be happy as a clam. Happy as a clam, but I'll take what you said too. Yeah, I know. Wait a minute. That's right, Chris. 3 picks in week 1. And we'll do some stuff. We're gonna do one more season prediction vid, kind of like a Monday mock kind of a situation where we get together and we go over the record and all that. We're gonna do one more season prediction on right before like next week, right before the first game, and see what we got. All right, so Jay Bedrell, we're gonna wrap this up in a minute. I told my wife it was gonna be 30 minutes. Okay, and I meant it. I'm like, I just want to hang out with these guys for like a half hour. And it's almost 2 hours. So, it's how it gets with you guys, man. We get talking, and I never know what's gonna happen. I look at Darnold and Robbie in Carolina and can't help but think Darnold is going there made Anderson worse. It's possible. Like we had that conversation. Like, I wonder how Robbie Anderson felt when they brought Sam in. Because don't forget, man, as close as they were as friends, there were so many occasions where Darnold just didn't hit a wide open Robbie Anderson. Sometimes didn't even see him. Other times just launched it way over his head. So I don't know. But I think they have potential. I mean, think about it, man. Matt Rule was about to be our head coach until Peyton Manning called Chris Johnson. We would have had Matt Rule, Sam Darnold, Robbie Anderson, the whole bunch. It's crazy how they're all together down there. No, that's the truth, John. She just goes, okay, and just starts doing whatever she's doing. That's funny. Yeah, that's why she loves me, because I'm an exaggerating liar. All right. All right, guys. So look, let's wrap this up. I think it's going to be an interesting next few hours, right? We're going to find this out. I will tell you, I think Herndon's going to make the squad. Unless some crazy release happens, right? And we choose them. I think the tight ends are going to be Tyler Kroft, Chris Herndon, and Kenny Yeboah. I think even Daniel Brown or Griffin might make the practice squad. I don't know. But I also think Tevin Coleman and P. Ryan are staying over Josh Adams. Not that I agree with it, but that's what I think is going to happen. And I thought Josh Johnson was going to stay, but that is now wrong. So I think we're going to bring somebody in. That's what I think. And we'll keep 2 or 3. If we keep 3, Morgan stays. You know what I mean? Yeah, we'll probably do a little after show tomorrow night. So we'll talk about it. All right, so I'll see you guys tomorrow at the Jets, Talking Jets panel over at Jets Talk 24/7. And you guys are the best, man. Thanks for hanging with me on this impromptu thing. We had a nice crew in here. So this was good. So I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good night, everybody.
Let me put on my homer cap real quick for you. The Jets are going 12-5, getting a first-round bye. Home field for at least one game in the playoffs this year. What do you think of that? What do you think of it? That's what I'm saying. 12-5. We're going, guys. 12-5. 12-5. First round bye. Home field playoff game. Guys, it's going to be great. Are you kidding me? We were 2-14 last year. We have a whole roster full of kids. I got a first-time rookie head coach, rookie offensive coordinator. We don't know what these guys are going to do. We have a quarterback. He's never played an NFL game. Mekhi Becton can't stay healthy. I'm telling you, we're going 12-5. I'm telling you, you're out of your friggin' mind. Here's what I want to say about Pro Football Focus. Shut up already. Do your numbers, okay? Do your numbers. Tell us what your PFF score for the backup offensive lineman on the Los Angeles or Las Vegas Raiders is, so we can argue about it with our friends, and shut up with everything else because you guys don't know what you're talking about. That's my thoughts on PFF. Shut your face already. Nobody cares. You're dumb. Either get your house in order and be consistent with your writing or just stop it. So that's that. That's all I got to say.